Yeah. They do, was it Rise and Shine?
Yeah, Rise and Shine. It's like a cars and coffee event.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think like first Friday. I feel like I still haven't been to one, but
You definitely have. You definitely have.
maybe one time. But I've been meaning to come out because like it's just.
I don't even come to this side of town like that.
Yeah,
Where you at?
I mean, I'm over in Hollywood. Mind you,
Okay.
like, what is it? 15
Mid-city
minutes.
is what
Yeah,
it's like.
right.
Large mall. But I just,
Yeah.
like, I never come here.
Yeah.
Don't know why, I just don't.
I mean, I feel like
It's
more than 15 minutes. It feels like it's tough in LA to like make that like.
That, I think it's just like, I never know of anything happening.
Yeah.
That's actually what it is. It's
Yeah.
that I never know when anything's happening. So I'm just like, well, if someone invites me, I'll go.
Yeah.
No one
Okay.
invited me. You know?
Fair. Okay.
So it's like you said, cars and coffee, first Friday. I said, what?
Yeah.
No one ever invited me.
True. I mean, yeah. Right. What's up?
I didn't even know about it till you just said it.
Okay. Well.
Like that's news to me.
Now you guys know.
The only first Friday thing I know, I don't know if they still do it, but on Abbott Kinney.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Ryan.
And Dalmar.
We are back, episode 5.
Is it? No, there's no way it's 5. I think it's 4.
Yeah, five's my life number, bro. I just be trying to get there.
Okay,
every
for sure.
time.
5 is the number that you just go for all the time.
Bro,
5.
bro, 5 is just been my number, bro.
Oh, interesting.
Do you like throw it up in like photos too? Like,
Nah, it's just
Okay.
more of like a subliminal thing. Don't really represent it.
Okay.
For real. Just got to know those things.
For sure.
But we also have a special guest friend now, Olly.
What's
Welcome.
good? Glad to be here. You know what's funny? Ryan's been telling me about this podcast for like a minute too. He's been like, "Yeah, I'm doing this podcast." I'm like, "Let me know. Literally, let me know when I'm there." So
Amazing.
I'm really excited to finally be here.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing, honestly. We appreciate you. You know, we have a busy schedule. But I say, when we get out to LA, we're going to make it happen. But for background, I was able to meet Olly almost going on 2, maybe 3 years now at this point. Been following him ever since we were connected through a mutual friend. Shout out to Alexa. Honestly, still to this day, been big supporter of a lot of the work that we're doing. But no, bro, we brought you here to talk about your life, gaming, music, your career. So, like, let the people know who you are. Like,
All right. Well, I mean, quick introduction on me. My name is Olly Sholotan. I'm an actor, musician, gamer, I guess. But like I put gamer in like tiny words just because I don't do it professionally. It's mostly just for fun. Actually, the whole thing with gaming was like growing up, I've always been such a workaholic. And so I used to game a lot as a kid. And then kind of, once my career started to pick up and once I started getting busy, I just never really had time for video games anymore. Mm-hmm. And I went through this crisis, probably actually around when we met, funny enough. I went through this crisis. I was like, I don't do anything for fun. Every single thing I do is for work or whether it was, I went to school for acting. I was like, well, I knew that was going to be my job.
Right.
Music kind of was a hobby. Well, guess what? It's my job now. And so literally that week, I bought myself a PS5 and I was like, I'm just going to have fun and play video games. But yeah, I mean, my story's kind of interesting. I was born in Atlanta. And that's kind of, although that's not even really the connection. That's sort of how we started being friends. But I was born in Atlanta and I lived there for like a little bit. I want to say like 6 months. And then I moved to Nigeria with my parents. Grew up in Nigeria till I was 10. And then moved to Houston. Went to a performing arts high school in Houston. It's important to like recognize the same one Beyonce went to.
Okay.
It's just, you know what I'm saying?
It's important to throw out there.
You know what I'm saying? It's important to put in there. Because it's like, the whole thing with this high school is you have to be as good as Beyonce or better to get in.
for sure.
So just letting y'all know.
Basically,
that's
the,
that's where Olly is.
That's the part. Yeah, just so you know where I am in this, in the game.
Valedictorian in the class.
and then I went to UCLA, studied musical theater there, and then, graduated 2019, which that whole thing was crazy. I graduated 2019, shot my first movie that fall. And then, life has continued. And then now I'm on Bel-Air and I play Carlton Banks.
And you also make music.
And I'm also a musician.
Yeah.
Well, so what's crazy is I put out my first EP that summer. Like I graduated 2019, like May. Put out my first EP that summer. It's called Soulful Gazing. Self-produced, self-written. I was just like, I'm graduating and I'm feeling all these feelings. And when you like, go to bed at night and you're like, I'm not gonna say daydreaming, but it's like you're not dreaming because you're not asleep, but you're just like looking up at the ceiling and it feels like the ceiling splits open and you start like envisioning everything. for me, I couldn't find a word for that. So I was like, I feel like I'm soulfully gazing right now.
That's a good description of it.
Right?
Yeah,
Like, so,
that
and
fits.
so named the EP Soulful Gazing. And then as luck would have it, I got one of those songs on the movie that I was doing that fall. And then, life
history.
continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I will say I also do the Beyonce, in relation to, so my birthday is September 5th.
Yeah.
Hers is the 4th. So also
Man.
that, like, it's a goated couple
Oh,
days.
so you're also a Virgo.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You are a maniac then.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you're
a
also
little bit.
very efficient. You're very efficient.
yeah.
You get shit done.
Yeah. But that's like my thing. It's like, whenever my birthday, that week, that weekend, it's like Beyonce, then me.
No, I get. What's your connection to Beyonce?
I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I don't think I have one, not directly that
Man,
I'm
that's
aware
cool.
of.
Okay.
I think you got to find one.
Yeah,
I mean, well, he
it's
doesn't.
probably like she's so vast. Like you probably like
Yeah,
your 1 degree of
100%.
separation from Beyonce.
What
at
I
one
will say
time.
is he doesn't have to do anything, but it just means that we're better than him. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
no, for
Like,
sure. Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't gotta find anything,
There
but just
might not be
until
one.
you do, just remember that we're goated and you're
Right.
here.
connection to Beyonce is that we're doing an event in Houston on May 30th.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's fire. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Boom. Fair.
I'm better than all y'all.
Fair.
Okay. All right.
You know what?
Because I'll be real with you. You went to the school. His birthday just the day after, the day before,
Day after.
day after.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're just doing an event in the same rough area.
Zip code.
But here's the thing: I didn't just go to the same school. I went to the same performing arts school.
Yeah. And,
So
the,
that
and the
means-
threshold was like Beyonce's here. You got to be
like,
at
come
least
on.
here.
Oh, you're just throwing an event in the same municipality, and we're supposed to be
Nah,
impressed.
Nah, it's facts.
I don't know why I came onto your show to dog you. Like this is honestly, this is crazy of me.
I mean, it's a good it's like establishing yourself. Like this is what the episode's gonna be. You know,
Like,
so
this is what we need.
Yeah.
Like we're here for you.
Okay.
Actually.
Yeah.
Nah, so I'm like, all right, cool. So UCLA. Mm-hmm. Did you know that I'm assuming you studied theater.
Yeah.
You knew that you wanted to be in what? Like, what was your aspiration in attending?
So, okay. So I studied musical theater in college. So
Right.
by college, I knew for a fact I wanted to be an actor.
Okay.
My journey to that was kind of a little funny because growing up, I wanted to be a professional soccer player. Grew up in Nigeria. I was
Yeah.
like, sports. And then in 2008, this masterpiece of a movie came out, High School Musical. And I was like, yo, that theater thing looks kind of fire though. So I started kind of doing theater. But according to my mom, growing up, I would just like dance on restaurant tables. Like, it was really embarrassing for them, but like I was having a great time. So they have always kind of known that I wanted to perform. But throughout the years growing up, I would like pick up these random computer skills. Like I almost went to college for computer science.
Okay.
Just because I don't know, like I've just always been such a nerdy kid, and that's where my love of gaming came from. Because I remember my dad, because I have a Nigerian father, and so he was like, "We're not gonna buy you an iPhone because that's so expensive." So I remember I got an Android, and it became my life's goal to like load iOS onto it. So I like modded my Android phone.
Yep.
And so I was just always such a nerdy kid, and I picked up video editing and all these things. And so by the time I got to college and, I decided, okay, I want to be a performer. Acting was kind of just the only thing. And then I picked up music producing just because I was like, well, I learned all these programs anyway.
Yeah.
Might as
Transfer
well,
of
might as well
those
see if I
skills.
can learn how to produce music. And it happened.
It
Like
worked
it
out.
just kind of, I learned all the things. And for a while I used to beat myself up about like, man, I spent so much time learning all these skills that aren't useful. Like I can code, I can design websites, I can, do all of that. But I realized in my music career, there's so many people I haven't had to pay because I just do it
Right.
myself.
Yeah.
Like,
Self-produced, mix master. Yeah.
exactly. Like all of that just kind
Yeah.
of makes sense to me. Everything from the marketing to the visual assets. It's like, you know what? Maybe no knowledge was lost.
And it's crazy to even think about. I didn't think about that. I haven't thought about my jailbroken iPhone until you just said put in the iOS on the Android. And to your point, you don't think about how those things have implications like all the way in the future of your life and how you think through problems.
Yeah.
And how you use it. It's funny you talk about the like music theater, man. I was so late to the theater appreciation. So last year was my mom's 60th birthday, so we went out to New York.
Okay.
First time really going to like a Broadway play like as an adult.
Wait, what was it?
We first saw Hamilton, and then we saw.
What'd you think? Because honestly, everybody come up to is like, you're gonna love it.
No, it's
Bro,
fantastic.
I'm not gonna hold you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I was when it came out in like 2015 on Disney. Whenever it came out like on Disney Plus, and everyone was going crazy. I'm like, bro, that's bad.
I mean, I will say as well, like my friends who are not black, there's rapping in it, so they're like, "Oh, hey, you're gonna love it." And
Oh
I'm like,
no, white people love how because they're like, "Yo, it's hip hop."
Right.
And you listen, you're like, "It's nah."
I mean,
you know
do
what I'm
they?
saying? Like,
It's rap.
what
They
I'm
rapping
like it's
in
not
there.
Young Thug. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Without it's hard. Like for what theater is.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm glad this was the first thing that I saw like in Broadway. Cause I was like, okay, I'm sold on this concept. And then the next day we saw the piano lesson.
Man.
And that was so. Are you familiar with the piano lesson?
No.
And so it was Denzel Washington and I'm sorry, it was Denzel Washington's son and Samuel L. Jackson.
Gotcha.
And I cannot remember the young lady's name, but she plays in I believe it was Orange Is the New Black. Okay. So she was kind of like one of the like the third star. And just I remember sitting in the theater and Samuel L. Jackson was like 50 feet away, just like acting, right? And I was like, yo, it's
a different level. Yeah,
it gives you a different perspective
like,
of like what the talent and what is being produced.
Right.
However good Samuel L. Jackson is on screen, man, watching that nigga in person act in front of you, that's like, wow, you know? So it's a play is something else. It really is.
Right. Yeah, I can see that because I saw what's the movie that came out? The New Gladiator. And the way that Denzel, I think, commanded the whole movie to the point of I'd give it 2 stars if it wasn't for Denzel. Like
Hilarious.
his character and his performance, I think elevated that movie.
Even just the way he like puts on his robes,
Right,
the way
when
he
he's like
he plays with his ring. It's just things like that where you're like, man, this is like that nigga's eating right now.
Yeah.
Experience.
Like you're watching a generational performance right in front of you. It's like, man.
And then to see that like in person has to be different.
And like there's no cuts. There's no
Right.
And they do
break.
that 8 shows a week.
Bro, exactly.
Man.
And that's
Yeah.
when I just started to appreciate. So I'll be real with you, I haven't gone back since. But that's not for any particular reason. It's just that moment it really opened my eyes. So I've always wanted to ask you, bro, transparently. So like you said you had your first movie as soon as you got out of school.
Yeah.
So were you auditioning while you were in school? Or like what is that process, especially like at UCLA? Like how does that work out for
So at
aspiring
UCLA, they really discouraged us from working while in school, which like I have my thoughts about, and I'm actually very public about it. I just don't. I think the whole reason why young actors go to college and go to school is so that they can get employed. So I find it weird when a lot of schools are like, we don't want you working while in school, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
But my like freshman year of college, that February, I met this guy and he was like, yo, I'm a Hollywood manager. I really like you. Let's work together. I was just doing a show on campus and I was like, I don't know, man. Because I skipped a grade. So I was 17 at the time.
Got you.
I was like a kid. I said, I don't know what's going on. Like, give me a second. So I took a year, kind of, got my bearings around. And then end of my sophomore year, I did this huge show called Spring Sing, which at the time it used to take place in our basketball stadium. So it was like 20,000 people in attendance. I invited him. I was like, yo, I'm ready. Let's work. And so throughout that, he'd send me on auditions here and there. And one of the things that they don't talk about is how much, like, auditioning is a skill. And that skill is different from being in a project, right? So I had to learn how to audition for like 2 years. I got nothing. For like 2 years while in school, I was auditioning. I didn't really get anything. And then sort of towards the December of my senior year, right? So like December, I'm going to graduate in like May. I got on All American. I got my first job. It was like 2-3 lines on All American. And, auditioned, woohoo, got it. Got cut. So if you watch All American, I remember it like it was yesterday. It's season 1, episode 10. I'm not in it because, cut for time. I don't know.
Right.
But I got cut. And then I got my agent that February, then auditioned throughout that summer, then got that movie in the fall.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I was auditioning for like 2.5 years.
What would you say is the skill difference in auditioning versus being in the project? Like now that you've been through both sides of it all, like what I'm assuming it's like knowing how to condense
Yeah, auditioning's harder. First of all,
Right.
Right, because you don't have the rest.
You don't have
of
anything.
Just the words.
You don't have the other actor. You don't have anything. I think the skill difference is, man, no one's ever asked me that before. What's the actual difference? I think with auditioning, you just have to create so much more of the world for yourself. And that comes through in so many different ways. In, whether you're taking more of your time, whether you're, letting a moment, like, for example, if we're in a scene and like you're my dad and you say, I'm proud of you, right? Like, I think in the movie, that's a moment, but the music is going to do what the music's going to do. The camera's going to push in. Yo, I'm proud of you, son. The camera's going to push in. It might be maybe 2 seconds. But in an audition, I don't have the music. I don't have the camera. I don't have the lighting change. So I need to know that when my dad says, I'm proud of you, son, I'm going to take that, it's going to be like a 5 to 6 second moment. And I'm really going to let it sit. That's just a little thing.
Right.
But you just have to imagine the world a little more, I would say.
Right. And make obviously the director, whoever's the casting director, like feel you in that role, in that scene.
You
and
have to
like
make
create it for them as they've like envisioned it. Which,
sometimes they don't even know what it looks like. That's, I think, another thing that changed
So you're like creating
my
it
perspective.
for them.
Yeah. Like a lot of times they put together, because there's so many people involved in making this stuff happen.
Right.
So you have the writer that wrote it, the director that's directing it, the studio that picked it, and the casting director. Sometimes the only person that actually sees that tape is the casting director. And so, they'll get the breakdown, but they don't know what is going on behind the scenes. They don't know what the set looks like. They don't know. So they don't actually know what it looks like yet sometimes. And sometimes they do, but if they don't know, your job is to give them an understanding of, oh, this is what this scene looks like. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the way I've always looked at it. It's that they're looking at a blank canvas and I get to show them a painting for the first time. And they're like, oh, wow.
Yeah. That's dope.
That's smooth, bro. And so like now kind of switching gears a little bit, talk about the gaming side of it all, right? So with the schedule that you have, shoots, rehearsals, interviews, speaking engagements, how and when do you game? Let me ask a different question. When's the last time you've been on?
Man.
Since you want to just talk shit, so let's go.
Man, why you ask me something like that?
The gamer check right here.
Man.
Should we add that as like a segment?
Yo,
like,
gamer check.
Gamer check. When's the last time you were on?
When was the last time you was on, bro?
So here's what I will say. The last time I was on was a very long time ago. I actually don't remember exactly when. It was like a couple of weeks ago. Like maybe.
Okay.
But I've been watching mad gameplay. I forget what it's called. Oh my God, there's this new soccer game.
Where you're like the one character.
Yeah,
and
is
like
it replay? Is that what it's called?
I think it's close. I think it's close to it.
Rebound. But whatever that is, I've been
yeah.
watching hella gameplay of that, and also I've recently gotten into Marvel's Rivals.
Okay.
And I've been watching a lot of gameplay of that, but I haven't actually been on recently. So to the question of what time do I have to game, it depends on the time of year. I know usually the way it works is we will be shooting, and then we wrap. The minute we wrap, I'm like, boom, I got all this time.
Right.
Woo! For 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Every night, I'm on the mic. Boom, hey, Jordan, what's up? Da, 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 da. Week 6, that's usually when our press tour starts.
Gotcha.
And so around then, I usually take a
Back to work.
swift, and so like right now, I just released an EP like a month and a half ago. And so I've just been having a lot of like label meetings, working on new demos, doing this, doing that. So I haven't really had the time. So the question of what time do I have to game, it's usually at night. Yeah. And that's kind of the issue. I have to pick between, okay, do I sleep at a reasonable time?
Right.
Or do I hop on this game?
You grind it out.
So,
Yo, when you are playing, so Marvel Rivals, I know we've talked about League historically.
I used to be big. So right now, what am I playing? Marvel's Rivals, Fortnite. I'm very excited to play that new soccer game when it comes out. My friend, so I didn't grow up hooping.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably my biggest regret if I had one. I wish I could play basketball. So all my homies play 2K. Can't get into it. Mostly because I don't really know the rules.
To be honest, I grew up playing basketball and I don't play 2K. So
but my thing is I just don't know the rule. Like I don't understand. I don't even know what it is. I
Okay.
get it, but they're like, Ollie, like pick and roll. What? Set up a screen. I'm looking at a screen. There's a screen in front of me. What are you asking me?
Yeah.
So I wish I could get into 2K. Yeah, but Fortnite, I'm really big into Fortnite. I used to
Fortnite.
play League a lot as a kid.
League of Legends, right?
Yeah,
that's
Okay,
that's
okay.
Dal-
Yeah, I just
was
want to
like,
confirm.
So,
You know.
yeah.
Dalmar's
League of
big in
Legends-
League, man.
Yeah, like League of Legends was my shit.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I stopped playing for a few years and I came back and it's just like the skill gap.
Yeah,
if
there's so
you
many changes.
if
Yeah.
you step away from League of Legends
Right.
for 2 months, it's a different game.
Yeah, there's 3 new
2
champions.
years?
4 new items.
No, bro, I hopped into a game and this was again like it was around when we met and I was like, oh, I'm going through a crisis. Like, let me get back to my old ways.
Right.
Downloaded League of Legends and I got on. I was like, I don't even know. I know it's still 3 lanes, but there are all these extra lanes now and
Yeah.
new abilities and
I'm
new.
not tapped in.
Oh, you're not even tapped.
Yeah,
in?
he never
I'm
got on the
I'm not
train.
tapped in. Between
Wow.
League and
Yeah.
what, TFT?
TFT, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
the other one too.
Dalmar was the one that put me on.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I
Yeah.
just never
So
got
when
on.
you were playing, did you have one character?
Yeah,
Did you play
I
a lot?
was. I had a few mains. I was a Nocturne main,
Okay.
a Talon main. Who else did I play?
You like to cause problems for other people.
I love
in the
causing
game.
problems. Yeah,
Okay.
Rengar.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
I
these are all like
cause
the-
problems. All like these are all the champions that like you're minding your own business, like doing whatever. They come out of nowhere, burst you down, kill you, and leave.
Yeah.
and then, or like,
And
and then
people
you.
just slam their keyboard after like,
Yep.
I couldn't
and then
do
you
anything.
try to
I just
get
died.
them, but like they hop into a brush, turn invisible, turn around. Like that was me when I wanted to be a little tankier. Oh, who was it that I played? Man, it's been so long. So,
Yeah.
but like, just think about it. Like that was when I played. Like when
Right.
Rengar, Talon, Nocturne, and I don't even remember the last champion that came out when I stopped playing because
Yeah.
someone came out and then I stopped and I came back and I'm just like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many all the time now. They actually released, I think, it's either the 4th or the 5th like black woman champion.
Oh, nice.
So
For
it's
the-
like Riot is getting better.
Okay.
At like creating like more
sure.
like diverse champions.
That's
And
good.
I know there was the whole. I don't know if y'all remember the black hair fiasco.
Yeah.
Where every black champion or every black character for any game always had the Killmonger cut.
Oh, 100%.
And I think
Echo. I was also an Echo.
Echo,
man.
yeah, Echo's got the Killmonger cut
Yeah.
too, you know? And I think it's just now like, okay, like we can actually create, I think the one right before this was an like older black woman, which is cool too, because it was like one of the first mothers they created in the game, all those things as well. So I kind of feel bad that I've like played less now because I'm
Yeah.
like, they're actually creating characters that
But you know
before it was
what's-
just Lucian, you know?
You know what's the thing? I think like all entertainment is kind of going through this because Sinners is coming out
Yeah.
on Friday.
Yeah.
And Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, they've been on their press tour.
Mm-hmm.
But you realize when you're watching Ryan Coogler talk, it's like, this is a black kid. Well, this is a black man
Yeah.
who grew up watching these movies and now he's in the position where he can make those movies, where he can film stuff for IMAX. So when we say that,
Yeah.
oh, you have these character designs that they're no longer doing the Killmonger cut, that comes from black people being inside the house, right? You have all
Right.
these black kids that grew up playing League of Legends. Cause like, I don't know, League of Legends has been out for a long time. I played it in high
Oh,
school.
yeah. Like
right?
2011 or 2009, I think.
Yeah. So it's like you have all these young kids who grew up playing this game and they're like, oh man, you know what? I want to go into gaming design. I want to go into character
Right.
design. I want to go into filmmaking, whatever. And now they're in these rooms where they're like influencing character design.
Yeah.
And we want to make a black character. Cool. Don't give him the Killmonger haircut. Straight
Right.
backs exist.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
There's
saying?
so
Like,
many cuts we could do.
there's
Yeah.
so many
High top
things.
fade is sometimes
Yeah.
still cool.
Yeah.
Like I was like, but yo, I'm like you, bro. If you were to explain League to me in 2K terms, I will fully be able to follow everything y'all just talked about.
Hilarious.
But like
We
literally,
got to figure out how that.
Yo,
how to
yeah,
do
I don't
that,
even
you
know.
yo, you know what's crazy? There's a dude like that I
Bro,
just
set up
found on
a
Instagram.
screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, well, we could find a way to translate to
Honestly,
one another. That would be smooth, bro.
I
There-
wonder
there's
if we
something
could
there.
do that.
Yeah.
Like there's this dude. His name is like the Hood Ninja.
Yeah.
But he teaches like coding, but he'll tell like YN stories. And so like he'll teach kids
Okay.
about Python, but he'll be like, you
just
run
trying
up
to get switched up, like
bro, like literally, he's like, yo,
Wait, that's
so
funny.
this one, you bring a switch, bro. Like you have to go in the ops crib. You got to make sure that no one's at the house. And like he
okay.
literally just go through like a very
Man.
detailed explanation of like
Yeah.
breaking down like how to code. And I was like, if we had that,
If there's a then
Yeah.
boom.
bro, there's absolutely something there, bro.
honestly,
There's
yeah. Let me
absolutely
let's like noodle on that because like I feel like 2K League, you know,
You're
turn
the
that
great
into-
translator.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what
Yo,
this
you
is.
bring League, I'll
Yeah.
bring 2K, bro.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right, we gotta like set this screen when like Nocturne comes through, you know, so
No,
he can
literally,
like
it's
jump on.
okay, cool. You're a tank, so what you got to do is you just put your wall right there.
Yeah.
Have you played Marvel's Rivals?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you also play Marvel. Because
Yeah.
so that's the thing. I feel like if League is too much, but like you play Fortnite.
Yeah, I've played Fortnite.
Yeah.
Do I play? Nah, like, but for that's perfectly fine.
Do you ever play Overwatch?
No, I never play Overwatch.
Okay, so I'm
Never
just saying,
played
if
Overwatch.
League is too much, Marvel Rivals is a great kind of way in. So all of my homies play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And so I try to get them onto Marvel's Rivals, and they kind of have a hard time because each character is different, right? You know,
Right.
like you play Iron Man different
Right.
than you would play Captain America, different than you would play Scarlet Witch.
Right.
And so they just have a hard time because they're like, what am I shooting? Groot has a wall,
Right.
you know, but so, you know, that's kind of a way into, what are they called? There's a name for
I think
them.
hero shooter.
Hero shooters, yeah.
Yeah.
Where every, you know, hero is kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals is fun, man. I have a time
Yeah.
of my life.
No, it's good. It's good. Like I have a
Yeah.
lot of friends I play. I watch a lot of Marvel Rivals content. It's just like an extended Marvel movie. Just like to see all the
Yeah,
different
it's like,
outcomes.
ooh.
It's cool.
Yeah, which you know, there's two directions you can go with that. Like, you know, these franchises or big IPs creating, you know, more like engaging experiences versus showing to the movies. But also, I think like, you know, there is like like you were saying before of maybe you're not getting on the game every day, but like if you're watching games,
Yeah.
to me it's almost like you're gaming yourself.
Yeah.
you know, just like viewing the games and like being a part of the space is like almost.
And able
Like-
to study to a
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch basketball, like highlights, right? Like
Yeah.
watching basketball film, you can understand like conceptually how to play a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I get incrementally better at Call of Duty by watching COD streamers. Like, yo, I didn't know I could jump on that ledge.
Yeah.
How did you find out that you can jump
Yeah.
on that ledge?
Right.
But
Yeah.
now when I'm playing, like that's another little escape route.
Now,
Yeah.
but also, or now when I'm playing, it's like, man, I'm trying that.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
not
like, I'm not
working.
that-
I
I'm
am not
still
that
sad.
guy, bro.
But it's actually the
Not that
opposite.
guy.
More or less, it's like, yo, I'm trash, bro.
Yeah.
I'm watching streamers go 1v quads. I'm like, this makes no sense, bro.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to get you.
One-on-one.
Right.
Yeah, I'm struggling to get you.
Yeah.
Bruh. Like, what do we got going on?
Yeah, and it's like you wouldn't ask like Stephen A. like when's the last time he hooped, right? But like from the watching games all the time,
Man,
right?
his
Like
ball
you're in
IQ
it.
is out of this world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, although some people would disagree. With
Really?
you. I
lot of
mean, like I
people-
feel
Well,
like
and you, but mind you,
Especially
this is
with
someone,
recent statements.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say, mind you, this is someone saying it that like doesn't know
Oh,
ball.
true.
So I just
Fair,
know
yeah.
he's paid professionally to talk about ball. So I hope his ball IQ is
Yeah,
high. Is it
I
not?
would say from a rating standard, he meets the quo. But my
he
man's
is
just got-
like
he
the
did,
pinnacle of like
100 mil.
entertainment for sports.
Oh, so, but it's not good. Is that what y'all are telling me
He
right now?
has strong opinions that sometimes go against the basketball community.
I see.
Yeah.
I understand.
I
Okay.
think that's a very politically correct way of
Yeah,
putting it.
yeah, that was very diplomatic.
It's
Yeah,
a very politically correct way.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah, but you said that you watch a lot of content. Have you thought about not only from a gaming perspective, but even music, kind of like streaming your journey?
You know, the funny thing, I've had a funny streaming journey because I like every couple of months I'm like, I want to do this. But it's one of those things where it requires more and more things the
Right.
more you do it.
Yep.
There's no easy way to stream. I'm gonna be so like hats off to every streamer kind of ever. Because I was like, yeah, I want to, I'll stream. Like, I'm on the mic anyway, right?
Right.
Like, I'm already here hanging out with my friends. Might as well stream it. And then you need like a one thing and then another thing, but that you
Right.
need to
Yeah.
plug the other thing into this other thing. Oh, you're trying to record that thing. Well, you actually need to get that.
Don't forget to update your software.
Oh, don't forget to update
Right.
your software, bro. Oh, but
Yeah.
yeah, well, your sound card is this. And so I think what will eventually, because I know like T-Pain does his like studio stream. My goal is to eventually just have someone build me a thing
Yeah.
that it's like, yeah, when I go into the studio, I turn it on. And once in a blue moon, I think my way of doing that is I'll go on like TikTok live while I'm in the studio.
right.
So kind of, that sort of works. But I know that there's a more efficient way. It is just such a thing to build.
Nah, bro. When I was supposed to start streaming 4 months ago when
Yeah.
I moved to LA, And to your point,
Yeah.
it's like, I just want to play the game, actually.
No,
like,
that's what I'm
like,
saying.
it's like I
Yeah.
literally have the webcam on top right here.
It's right there.
I
Everything
can
ready.
click, go live,
Yep.
and I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, because you gotta also play the game, manage the chat, and be talking when there's no one there, right?
yeah. And
Not
that's-
saying there's gonna be no one there. Like I'm sure there's gonna be like 500 people coming in, but like you know
Y'all
you
just
gotta like make sure
discouraging
you.
me, bro. I got one viewer. The show was my idea.
I was like trying to help out. I was like, I know there's gonna be people in there.
I was like,
But
golly, bro.
if there wasn't in the one scenario where there's not, you got to be like talking the whole
Yeah,
time, so that people who
exactly.
when they jump in, they're like, oh, this is entertaining to the point I can like sit around,
Even at the most basic level, I appreciate, value, and applaud every streamer at every level.
Yeah.
Like the ones that have made it cool. Y'all are already in the conversation. I'm talking about the streamers that get on every day, literally,
Yeah.
and it's
Right.
And
2,
talk to, like,
10,
5 people.
15,
Yeah.
20 people. I'm like, yo, y'all rock, bro. Because like that is taken way further for granted. Like someone like me be like, yo, you can't make, how you make fun of it when I won't even cut on the camera myself.
No,
Right.
literally. And even the few times that I have done it, it's just you finish like a 45-minute stream, and I'm like, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Because you know how like this conversation, there's 3 of us in here, we're all talking to each other.
Right.
You're right, it is just silence.
Yeah.
It's silence and you're just talking to air. And then you finish, you turn off the stream, and then your home is just quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
It's tired.
I've never had that that experience like to really fully understand that, but like when you put it like that, it's like gotta be jarring. Just like I was just talking to people, but like there's no one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna hold you. That first time I have tried streaming a few times. I did like an hour.
Yeah.
I got my little stream report. It said you had an average of 1 viewer. I was like, bro, I'm never doing this shit again. I said, I'm never doing this again.
I'm
I was like, I
never
was
doing
so
this.
low.
I mean, it can only go up.
My brother went to bed that night.
I was like, yo, I just
arms
did a bunch of
crossed,
nothing.
Fetal
Yeah.
position.
It was crazy, man. I was like, no, but I want to try and get back into it. You know,
Yeah.
it was tough.
Man, that's oh man, my brother, he went to work the next day. He was just
Yeah,
thinking
there's
about
like,
it.
there's
What's
like a
up?
one like hanging above his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
People
Like
like,
Black
what's,
Mirror is like
what's going
one
on?
viewer.
he was just down.
He's just a one viewer.
down for the rest of the week.
No, but to your
man.
point, no, I think for those that even if you are doing it, no matter you're at 1, 5, 10, 20, if you're really doing it, when you're off, it's silence, but you're at work, bro. You're getting your streams, you're editing the clips, you're finding your best clips, you're
Yeah.
putting that in, hopefully planning out your social media, tagging the. I was like, bro, you're really, really working. That's why you say to the point of it, it takes a lot of resources,
Yeah.
time and energy to like live this content creation lifestyle. So I was like, the ones that can break through, I'm like, yo, I think we underestimate and undervalue
Yeah.
what goes into that craft at large.
And so I
Yeah.
think that honestly, that's a huge reason why. Because I think one of my strengths is that like I have a very general knowledge of a lot of things. But I think the downside of that is sometimes I can just split myself. So things I'm like, I want to do
Right.
this, I want to do that. And so something I've been working on in my age, I'm 27. But one of the things, one of the things I've been working on, is just like figuring out what is the thing I'm actually passionate about and putting the energy towards that. And when I realized how much work streaming was, I was like, I realized I'm actually not like passionate enough
Right.
about this. Because when you tell me, okay, Ollie, like you have to put out an album is a lot of work.
Right.
That like my last EP was 8 songs. I wrote, and I would say I wrote 40 songs. Wrote 40, whittled that down to like 20, whittled that down to 10, cut 2, and then I went 8, and then you have to shoot all the creative, and then market it, and then do the music videos, and blah, blah. It's a lot of work, but that doesn't feel like a lot of work, right?
Right.
Because this is something I love doing so much that it just doesn't. I'm like, yeah, whatever. On a season of Bel-Air, we shoot 100 to 115 days, and those are like long days. Waking
Right.
up 4 or 5 a.m., getting back home at 8, 9 p.m. It's a lot of work, but it doesn't feel like a lot of work because I
Right.
love it. When something starts to feel like a lot of work, I'm just like, I don't actually think I love this thing that much, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane, kid.
Right. No, I feel you because I think to both your points, like streaming is like not a skill set, but I mean, it is a like profession.
Yeah.
Like you need to be consistent, streaming all the time, building up your community, and to like add that into, as you're saying, like all the things you're already doing that you're passionate about, to like add in this new like high effort thing. It's a lot, right? Versus, you know, as you said that sometimes you got TikTok live, and that's probably a little bit easier, right?
Yeah,
Of
like
okay,
that's so much easier. It gives that same direct, because I think part of the value of streaming also is the direct sort of creator and consumer relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Like my fans get to ask me questions and I get to answer it in real time. Right. And oh my God, do y'all want to hear the song I'm working on? There is so much value in that.
Yeah.
Even just as, you know, thinking of Olly the business, building that connection is really, really important. And so there is a lot of value to that. And I think what TikTok Live really gives is that experience. And I know there is a just chatting setting on Twitch, which I haven't really tried yet. But I just know what works about TikTok is that algorithm's crazy. Like,
right.
If anyone is even kind of sort of a fan of Olly and they've thought about Olly like one time, I will come up on their For You page
right.
when I'm on live.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's obviously two things to that as well, as of you, because I think I've seen some of your TikToks where you're kind of like answering questions that fans have, them seeing those TikToks, following you or just engaging with them. Obviously, you're going to get your lives in there.
Yeah.
You're kind of like building up more of like kind of the fans kind of seeing Olly more. And if there's like someone else who's clipping something that you've done or from Bel-Air, right? They see like this clip channel with Bel-Air stuff with Olly, and now, hey, I can like see him live right now, right? So I feel like there is that kind of ecosystem that you're kind of feeding into, right? Of like creating the stuff, going live, all in this one spot of TikTok that you don't necessarily get from Twitch. That you had to do more effort to get set up with OBS.
And
to go
I will
just
say
chatting.
YouTube has that too, sort of, kind of. Again, not really in the live, but you're right. OBS, and then what's the other? It's OBS, and then I think Twitch has another one. Streamlabs. Streamlabs. And I started on Streamlabs, and then this plugin doesn't work. I said, you know what? Man, I don't think this is for me.
Right.
Let me tell you, brother.
Yeah. But instead, like, be able to just like phone, go live.
Ooh, that works.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A fully integrated community right there without having to do much.
Yeah.
It was dope. You mentioned like a part of your process. And I've talked to a few artists, like they may write 30, 40, 50 songs for an album. What is it? How do you decide, right? And do you have, like, who is the close circle that says, yo, Olly, toss this one out. Yo, put this one in.
It's a combination of a few things. There are definitely some songs that, like, really from a verse and a chorus, you just know, cool idea, just doesn't work. Sometimes, you know, you write 10 songs and you see that, oh, okay, well, this song is actually just a worse version of this song. Like, okay, I'm playing with the same concept, but it's just I did it better on this one, so that song goes away. But also my little siblings, right? Like my little sister's 23, my little brother's 19.
Okay.
The kids, man.
Yeah. Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
So it's like they know. You know, send it to them. I'm like, what do y'all think?
Right.
It's whatever. I'm like, understood. Sometimes they just won't respond.
TikTok won't like this one.
Yeah, sometimes they will not respond, and I know.
That's
when
the
they
answer.
don't respond,
That's
I'm like,
an answer within itself.
Understood.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's sort of during the early stages of just like, okay, wow, I just finished the song. I'll send it over, and they'll either be like, oh wait, yo, what? Cool. That goes in the maybe vault. And then as I get kind of closer to, okay, album's almost done, time to whittle it down to the final 10, whatever. Now at this point, I do have my team. So my best friend, actually, we met in college. She ran track. Her name is Jasmine. She ran track. I was a musical theater major. We became friends. And kind of throughout the years, we would always joke about how, like, you should manage, like, musicians. Because, you know, those friends that it's just, you're always talking media.
Yeah.
But it's not just from a, like, oh my God, I like this movie perspective. It's actually... It delves into a really intellectual, like, oh, you get this. And so she is my manager on the music side.
Okay.
And then, you know, we really like hash it out, you know, then, okay, here's what it is. What do you think? I really like the song. She's like, Olly, I hate that song. Well, okay, she's never like, Olly, I hate the song, but she's like, I just don't think that that's the song that tells the story. You know, Olly, what is this album about? Like, what is this EP? What is the story of this?
Right.
Then what songs fit in there? And sometimes it's a toss up, right? Like, sometimes there are songs you're like, it could fit, but I have too many sad songs. I have too many slow songs. So there's there's many different ways to whittle it down.
Like a balanced process a little bit. So you got it done. Are you allowed? So when do you all go back into like shooting?
So I don't know if I'm allowed to give specific dates, but I know. Well, I mean,
what general time frame?
Yeah, soon. No, we actually will be shooting this summer. We're gonna be going back to shooting the fourth and final season this summer. I don't know when it's coming out though. I imagine it'll be. You know what? I'm not even gonna say when it'll come out. It'll be eventually. It'll come out eventually. But
after shooting, it comes out.
Precisely. We're gonna shoot this summer, and then at some point after we shoot, it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so we go back for our fourth and final season. It's kind of crazy to think that we've done 4 seasons of the show. Like I started the show when I was 22.
Wow.
Which is wild. I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm still a kid. But I'm still just kind of like, man, I've grown so much. Right.
Man. Yeah.
I'm gonna get up from this couch and I'm gonna go.
Couple more aches and pains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've grown so much. I've learned so much. I mean, you and I met when I was like 24, 25, somewhere around there.
Yep. That means I was still in my 20s as well.
That means you just aged yourself.
All right, you young whippersnapper. But I don't know. There's something about working on a project long term. And I mean, you could probably speak to this having built your company.
Yeah, bro.
There's something about working on a long project like that you learn so much about the world, about yourself, about the way you work and relate to others. It's been a ride, man. It
definitely ages you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I was thinking about even before, coming in here today, like, is I guess what do you want to call it? Like TV film industry at large, and like how things have changed from probably since, you were in college of, there was a lot of things still going to theaters before pandemic, like all that stuff. And, obviously we've got more things like going straight to, these streaming services. Has that changed your approach to your acting career in terms of like, are you trying to go more towards that feature film direction, or is it TV like really the new place to be?
You say that the industry has changed since I was in college. The industry has changed since I've been on Bel-Air.
Fair.
Honestly, it is one of those crazy things that you never. You know how they say you never realize you're living through history until after. Mm-hmm. It really is that. Like as I've been on the show, I've lived through so many evolutions of entertainment. So features, I've always wanted to do feature films. Like movies were what got me into acting. I want to, I want to do movies. I want to do television. I want to do limited series. I want to do it all. To your question of has that changed my approach? I was reading. So our first season of the show, Will Smith had just come out with his book. And I'm not saying anything, that's a secret here. Like it's in his book. He had just came out with his book and he gave us all signed copies. And it's actually one of my prized possessions. I have a signed copy of Will Smith's book in my crib. And in it, he talks about how, after Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it was crazy. And one of the biggest decisions he made for his life, for his career, was picking between 2 movies. One offered him $10 million. The other offered him only $1 million. And this is 90s money, right? This is 90s 10 milli. And I might be fudging the numbers, but it was like one project was offering him a crazy amount of money. The other project was offering him less. And he went with the lesser money project because it was more of an acting role. It showcased him more of an actor. And I was reading that. I was like, man, it's crazy that there really was a time that you did a television show and you was just getting movie offers like, hey, this one's 10 milli, this one's 5, this one's 15. Because that just doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. Right? Because monoculture just doesn't exist in the same way. So when Will Smith was on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that meant on Friday night there were 3 or 4 shows you could watch. And he was one of them. Now you can have a massive show. Like how many times does it happen that, you'll be scrolling on Instagram, you'll see someone and you'll click into their profile and you're like, this person has 3 million followers. I have no idea who they are.
Literally, this person.
All the time.
You know what I'm saying? 10 million followers that I don't know. I've never seen this face in my life. And so, I think that as actors, as creatives, as whatever, it has become more about finding what is your community, what is your niche, and how can you make more things without a traditional studio system or a traditional label or a traditional whatever. And, you know, I think I very much adopted the build it and they will come mentality. And that's really worked out.
Yeah.
For me, like, even as far as my music, like everything I've done so far has been independent. And in that journey, I've had labels come and like, hey, we're interested in paying you $2 to own all of it. And my answer is no. But, you know, but later on, as we go on and as I build more leverage, the goal is to sign something that's beneficial for both of us. But I do think that with how things have changed as creators, we just have to be more savvy. We have to understand our audience more, understand your niches, create things like this where it's, you know, us taking charge of our own means of production and to whatever extent we can, our own means of distribution as well.
Yeah. I think it's a perfect answer because I think you hit all the points of like, there has been such an expansion of the amount of entertainment you can watch, the places you can watch at, the people that are watchable, you know, like people who have a certain amount of, you know, followers on Instagram or whatever have you. So, yeah, to me, it just seems like kind of like a daunting space of like, how can you like navigate through all of that?
And look, it's daunting, but I think ultimately, you know, maybe it's my optimistic, altruistic perspective, but I think that it's ultimately a good thing because when you have so much choice, I think skill and quality rises to the top.
Yeah.
Because once upon a time, it's that we just had to watch whatever whoever put in front of us. But now the reason why a Kai Cenat can be who he is, right? The reason why we can have these, I'm not going to call Kai Cenat a niche creator because he isn't. Yeah. But the reason why he's able to have a platform and be incredibly successful is because the whole process of picking those people has been democratized. Yeah. So now it's like, well, guess what? We fuck with this nigga. So like, we gonna watch him.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah. Every day. Bro, every day. While he sleeps, we will watch him.
True. It's the craziest thing.
It is interesting, bro, especially like the distribution part. I think platforms, they're gonna start shifting probably in a little bit. It's interesting. I think about this all the time. It's like the amount of content is increasing, but the amount of hours in a day for us will not ever
stay the
increase,
same.
right? Yep. So at a certain point, one could argue that there will be too much content.
That's funny you say at a certain point. I think we've hit it.
You definitely hit it, but the reason I say at a certain point is because we keep compounding. But like, at what point does it like, there's like a hard pause, right? And the only thing that it's being produced is like a live sports, because at a certain point you're just spending money to create for cycles, not even longevity. I think the concern I have, and it's funny to talk about like the original Fresh Prince too, is like it's almost like longevity's out the window. And instead of having like 6, 8, 10, 12 season shows, it's about like limited series, right? I don't know which one. I'm not saying that one is right or the wrong. I'm just noticing it's like
just different.
It's
like
just, it's just almost hard to. It's like I almost wish I got in the old version, because now, to your point, although from a creator lens, I think it's very, very opportunistic. I think when you're trying to build a platform, it also creates nuance, because what's going to end up happening is the democratization is there, but the ones that rise to the top, unfortunately, are going to be those that are tied to capital. Because if you're on a platform, it's a pay-to-pay requirement. Yeah. Right? And to a degree, that's how it is in all industries. But
it's like to get consistent eyeballs, because you can have,
for sure,
to the 13 million followers thing, none of these platforms show your content to everyone who follows you.
Right.
So the only way to even get anything close to that on a consistent basis, and they'll always be like, oh, put out good content, sure. But no, it's
like for the sake of
the ads.
Correct.
And
And so I'm just curious what that creator business economic loop is going to look like in a few years. Because right now, everyone's just cashing in. Like it's definitely, it's very in the moment, very transactional. But at scale, I don't know how it works.
No, I mean, to your point, the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was 6 seasons.
Yeah, I believe
24 episodes a season.
24.
I want to say it's like 22 or 24, somewhere in in the 20 range. Ours is 10 episodes, and our 4th season is going to be our last. 10 episodes a season, and this is considered a long-running show. Right? Like
now,
for today's day and age, it's like, man, 4 seasons, which is true. Like 4 years is a very long time to be on a show, but that's just very interesting, because ultimately that is 40, by the end of the run, 40 hours of footage to watch. But at the end of the original Fresh Prince, it's like a couple.
It was like what, season 2?
Yeah.
By the point in time,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think things are more for the moment now. I think even music is experiencing that too. Back in the day, an album cycle was a year and a half, 2 years. You know, they would put out a single, 4 months later, another single, 4 months later, maybe another single. Then the album would come out. And then they would let that album be out for 6 months, 7 months. And they would tour that album for another year. Like, an artist would eat off an album for 5, 6, 7 years. Now, single, 2-3 weeks later, another single, 2 weeks later, album, go on a 6-week tour. All right. Well,
Don't
really
forget the deluxe.
Oh, and the deluxe.
Yeah.
The deluxe gonna drop, bro.
The deluxe is gonna drop the week after.
Yeah.
And also, time to make another album.
Yeah.
It's like, man, another one. But
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think we're appreciating how fast it's happening and how quickly we're actually cycling people out.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually phasing creators out much quicker now.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's a desire. It's a human consumer need to need the new creator to come in because you're literally tired of that person.
yeah.
It's like, and again, I think at scale, bro, I'm not going to appreciate it, bro. I like watching the same people for
You know
10,
what
15,
I think
20 years.
Part of the issue is, I think that algorithms have gotten so good
Correct.
at showing you what you need.
Correct.
Or not what you need, showing you what you want.
Yeah.
And so, kind of like I said, if you've even thought about Olly in the last week, I will come up on your For You page, and I'll come up some more, and I'll come up again, and I'll come up again. For the next 2 weeks, all you will see is me.
Yeah.
So then that creates this thing of like, man, Olly's everywhere. When, mind you, the videos you're seeing have like 20 views here, 400 views here.
20,000.
Like, sure. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not necessarily everywhere. I'm just everywhere in front of you.
Correct.
And so you're ready to move on to the next person because you've seen me every day for the last, like, how often does it happen that some viral thing is happening and then we all see it for a week.
Right.
And then the next week, another viral thing happens and we all see it for a week because these algorithms, they're so good at showing you the thing that you're interested in, that there is kind of no room for sprinkling in, oh, you see a little bit of this. And then over the next month, month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, you see a little bit of that. It all comes sort of like a huge
Take it.
take it.
I mean, there is something good about, I think, that whole scenario. To me, would be that, as you said before, monoculture, everybody sees these 6 shows Friday night, right? Doesn't matter, black, white, man, woman, whatever, right? And now you can be, you know, the best like workshop creator where you're making things in a workshop for cars, and then another person's the best workshop creator for I don't know, trucks. And like those are 2 like separate million-person communities, right? And so you can still be a big dog there, and be extremely successful instead of having to, because you needed the validation of the platforms previously, because they need to like be across everybody. So to get to that point, you need their validation. So now there's like opportunity to be like, hey, I will be, you know, for the R&B soul music connected with Afro beats, like that singer versus like somebody who is more connected to like Caribbean music, right? And so there's like more. I forgot what they like. There's money in the niches.
Yeah,
you know?
There's money in the there's value in specialization. I mean, again, I'm fudging the numbers, but Spotify released this. They do this thing every year. I think they call it Loud and Clear, where they just kind of explain their monetization and how they're paying artists. And I was reading this report, and they said something like, man, of the artists that made $1 million this year off of Spotify, like I want to say 50% of them, or like a certain percentage of them, had never had a song in the global top 100 or like in the global top 50. Right. And it's just, it speaks to the fact that, all these sort of localized groups exist where in order to make a living, and that's just Spotify, that's not accounting for what they made from touring and merch and, Apple Music. Like, yes, there's so much more and it's harder to break through, but it does mean that when you are successful in your community, you don't necessarily need to be the most famous person on the planet to make a living as a creator. And I think that is a beautiful thing. I do. I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm always someone that I'm always trying to like, okay, I don't necessarily believe in like old, you know the Simpsons thing of like old man yells at cloud.
Oh yeah.
I never want to be the old nigga yelling at cloud.
Right.
Like back in my day. You know, so I'm always like, okay, if this is the world that I've been given, this is what it is, how do I capitalize on it? So I'm trying. But man, I do miss the times.
Yeah.
When you could be on one TV show and it's like, you mean to tell me I don't got to work ever again in my life?
You're set for life. Like,
man.
Is this
amazing.
HBO right now? They have a new documentary series out called Follow Me Here. It's called Hollywood Demons. So it was like about the bad stories about.
I've been seeing that on my TikTok.
But the point is like going and just listening to like the old shows like Full House and the most recent was like Power Rangers. It's like Power Rangers debuted with like 20 million live views. Because it's like, again, to your point, is there was one channel with one 30-minute window. And it actually, funny enough, like now I'm glad we had this full circle conversation. Because even thinking about like the position to put a lot of those actors in, and like because there was so much fame, and there was so much validation and invalidation at the same time of being in like these massive pedestals.
There's a reason why like the 90s, early 2000s, a lot of those famous like lost their fucking minds.
Yes, and the documentary does a really, really good job of explaining, because it's like you actually. It's almost like the inverse now. It's like you actually didn't have everyone's validation, but you were selected to be in this position.
Yeah.
And so when that position's no longer there, your relevancy is gone because the people never validated you along the journey.
Man.
It's actually really, I'm actually, because at first I was on the other side of the fence. Actually, now I think I agree with y'all about it, because I'm like, this validation process is almost like a stepping stones
And
to be getting that.
What I will say is
primetime show kind of a thing.
What I will say is, to your point, there's pros and cons, right? I don't think it is all good. I don't think it's all bad, because like kind of what you're saying about the validation, but I also do agree. At some point, there's only so many hours, and so much content is going to be made, and so much money is going to be poured into making God knows what, and a lot of capital is going to be wasted, and you know, there's pros and cons. So I can't really. I go back and forth. Honestly, every day I go back and forth over which I prefer. I'm not going to be thinking about
this.
I'm going to be thinking about this for a while.
Yeah. No, like there is a ton of capital being spent to capture people's attention for the time they have to give attention to something. Right. And, you know, there's, again, only some amount of time that you have. And like, maybe you watch anime, but you also watch live stuff. You're on TikTok. You're trying to go to the movies. And like, to me, not to go down the rabbit hole of movies, but to have all those things available, and then to be like, oh, it costs $20, $25 to go to the movies.
Minimum.
Like, minimum.
$12 minimum. God forbid you want to get, snacks.
Like, why would I choose that?
Mind you, we live in Los Angeles too.
True.
Right? So if I wanted to go to an AMC, right around me is the Grove, Universal City in NoHo. All those places I have to pay for parking.
The show.
Okay.
So now it's not just $20 for the ticket. It's $20 for the ticket, another $10 for parking, you know, however much for popcorn.
Yeah.
Your breaks in traffic.
You
You gotta take all these things, these
like,
costs into effect.
God forbid I'm taking a girl on a date there.
Oh,
now this
no.
is like a $50, $60 outing.
Yeah.
Man, I got a Netflix subscription.
Yeah. You can cook at home. You can order food. Like, all for like under 60. Like, why? Like, it's like, even for a movie, like, I probably will go see Sinners, and I wanted to go see it.
I will be seeing Sinners. Bought my ticket a month ago.
Okay. Like, I need to do that. But obviously, you got Michael B. Jordan in it.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler. So I was already interested. The concept was interesting too. But I saw a TikTok with Ryan Coogler where he was talking about how they filmed it. So it was like similar to like Oppenheimer.
I saw that.
You know? And I'm like, okay, Los Angeles, we got the IMAX, we got the 70 millimeter, we got the 65. Like
Universal. So AMC. Universal City. That's the one. Literally, that I have my ticket.
Okay.
That's the ticket I bought a month ago. It's for the IMAX 70 millimeter one.
Okay. Yeah.
At AMC Universal.
Yeah. I need to get that one.
Do it.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, to me, like, okay, cool, I'll go see that movie. I saw Oppenheimer for mostly the same reasons. But like, there's a ton of movies out there that I like that I just don't go to the movie theaters to see it, because it's like, okay, could I watch this on, you know, HBO or Hulu, you know, come up soon. Obviously, is it like Peacock, right? It's going to Skydance, right?
No, Paramount.
Paramount. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's right. But yeah, it's like behaviors and like the decision making is changing.
How
right?
inside baseball do you want to get on this?
All the way in.
Well, so because there's a huge debate right now in film and television communities. This was last week, 2 weeks ago. There was this thing called CinemaCon. Turns out there's a conference for everything.
Yeah.
It's CinemaCon, and it's a bunch of theater owners and distributors and et cetera. They go to a convention, have panels, talk, yada, yada, yada. And there's just this huge debate because theaters, back in the day, they had a 45-day exhibition exclusive window.
Right.
So a movie would be in theaters for 45 days exclusive, couldn't get it anywhere else. And that was a minimum too, because sometimes it would be in theaters for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Then it would go to home DVD or it would go to streaming. But now because of the pandemic, I think HBO/Warner Brothers, they were the first ones to do it, where they did day and date releases. So it's like out in theaters, but also same day out on streaming. And so theaters are like, yo, no one's gonna come to the theater if you're demolishing our windows. So now there's a whole debate on, and they're kind of fighting because obviously the theaters want a longer window. Right. Yeah. Studios want a shorter window because that way, if you're buying it off of like Amazon, they don't have to, because every time it gets exhibited in theaters, they get like 50% of the ticket or whatever. Right. If you're buying it online, that's straight to them. If you're watching it on their platform, again, they get all that money. But we're kind of in this place now where I think we as an industry have trained viewers to do exactly what you said, where the worry is, even if we went back to a 45-day window, a 60-day window, over the last 4, 5, 6 years, we've trained viewers that like, there's certain movies that like, you want to see it in IMAX, 75 million? Yeah, go. Other movies, it'll be on in like 3 weeks. Just wait 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like you'll watch, like I will hear friends, they'll watch a trailer and be like, oh man, can't wait to watch it on Netflix.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah, just wait for it.
To the crew and like the first, like,
but it's like, oh man, cannot wait to see that on HBO Max.
Right.
But the issue is, and so I don't know what needs to change. I don't know if that means that we need to, whether it is extending the window. My personal opinion is I think that part of the issue is from an industry perspective, what are our barometers for success, right? Like how do we determine a successful movie?
Right.
And for the longest time, it's been box office.
Right.
So we go, oh, that movie was successful because it made X at the box office. It made whatever at the box office. But streaming numbers aren't public.
Right.
Home DVD rental, like PVOD numbers, are also not public unless the studio decides to announce that. And so what happens is you have these smaller movies that might be successful on PVOD. They might be successful on streaming, but they're considered box office bombs because people saw the trailer and said, can't wait to watch that on Netflix.
And it could be, and that goes back to capital, right?
Yeah.
Bigger budget movies, bigger marketing. Like I actually just went to the movies this weekend because like I'm fighting for nostalgia. So The Amateur.
Oh man, I need to watch that. I love Robin
Jason
Malik.
Bourne type movie. I haven't seen that, and the feeling of that in a theater, I think, like I actually would rather watch that in a theater than at a crib because it reminds me of watching like Jason Bourne and John Wick. I remember when I saw John Wick 3 in the movie theater, I was like, this is a fire experience.
Those fight sequences are
to like
insane.
just be in a theater for. But 100%, like Sinners is on the list. You got to add that. But almost everything else, and I want to see Warfare. I gotta watch that in the movie theater.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I gotta gotta watch that in the movie theaters. But I agree with y'all. And I think that's what this consumer habits. It's literally changing human behavior and like how we would experience these moments. But it's like, how do you then make your decision? It's like even the decision now of going to the movies is niche because we're going because it's Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, IMAX. Like those are the key differentiators.
But even
of what,
us, like that's just because we care about IMAX, right? That's just because here we are, 3 people in Los Angeles who, like, I would say to a certain extent, are consumers of art. We value the proper consumer of art. I remember. For a while, when I first started producing music, I just got stuck on this thing of like, I don't have the money to buy the best, biggest speakers and have the greatest studio. And then someone told me, Ollie, most people who listen to music are listening like either on a phone speaker or on Apple headphones. Not even the AirPod Pros, just like those old wired headphones. And I was like, damn, make a good point. Yeah. Right? So the average person, so many people have told me, bro, I love Bel-Air. I watch it on TikTok. Sorry, what?
Right, yeah, that's the...
Hang on.
Right, yeah.
You watch Bel-Air? But that's, it's just with all these screens, it's, again, inside baseball, the biggest competitor to Netflix, right? Everyone's always like, oh, who's the competitor? Is it HBO? Is it Peacock? Is it, Apple TV? It's YouTube.
Yep.
It's straight up YouTube where people can go on and upload. Like, if you look at viewing hours per day, YouTube and Netflix, I want to say YouTube is beating Netflix. I don't know by how much.
Yeah.
But, the competition for attention, going back to what you said, is just more and more.
It makes sense too. No paywall. YouTube's completely free. The whole thing.
That being said, I do subscribe to YouTube Premium. Not gonna lie, life changing.
Yeah.
Let
No
me
ads?
be like,
There's just no
ads.
ads?
There's
Gotcha.
no. It's not just no. Don't say it like that.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
just no ads. It is no ads. It's you can lock your phone and it'll keep playing.
Oh yeah,
It's-
that's annoying.
So
yeah,
it felt
yeah,
the
yeah.
YouTube like a little like
no,
sponsor
like
button right here.
literally
Like,
put it. I don't think you understand because
this ad break.
Like, that thing is like, there will be signs when I make money. There will be signs.
Yeah.
Like, it's YouTube Premium, and
Yeah.
it is worth because a homie of mine was like, bro, YouTube Premium. I was like, I'm not finna pay for YouTube. You mean the thing I've been using
Yeah.
for free since I was 10 years old?
Right.
No, life changing. If I'm watching a video on my phone and I put my phone down, pull up my iPad, would you like to continue watching the video from where? Yes, I would. Love to.
okay.
And you know
Yeah.
what? Tired of seeing it on my iPad. I go to my computer. Would you like to continue from where you were?
Yeah.
Yes, I would. 10 out of 10.
Seamless
Yeah.
experience.
It's great.
All right,
Shout
so-
out YouTube Premium.
I have a rant about all this, but I'm gonna keep it short.
Sure.
On each point. One, we were talking about, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. It's like a Michael B. Jordan movie, which is like less often you have like a Hugh Grant movie or a Cary Grant movie or Humphrey Bogart movie, right? It's different now, and I think when you see a YouTuber, they have validation already that that you've liked this content previously. So like, okay, their next thing is probably entertaining too. Versus like, I don't know if this movie's gonna be good because Michael B. Jordan's not in it, right? Somebody else is in it, right? So it's like validation level, those different things. But really, my whole hot take on the movie situation is, it feels like the theater model in business was maybe antiquated a bit. I think AMC is like $4 billion in debt or something like that, and Sony buying Alamo theaters, I think, to me, seems like the way moving to go forward.
So what's Sony doing differently? I'm curious.
I don't know if they're doing it differently yet, but I think one of the execs had said we can lower the movie ticket price because we're not just a movie theater studio, right?
Entertainment at large.
Right. So if the movie ticket price is now $5, right, or $10 or $5 on Tuesdays, then maybe it's okay. I spend $5 on this. I spend $10 on popcorn. Maybe this is now something I can go do, right? And they still taking the revenues that they're getting from, they're getting both sides of taking revenue now, right? And to me, like, it seems like that might be a better path forward for like sustainability, right? Where there's more wins all around, I guess, right? Where, like, as you said, the theaters are trying to extract revenue and extract value because they're on a different part. They're separate from the studios because it was
like completely.
it was like a law before that just stopped. And they couldn't have the
Paramount decision.
yeah. So that's my hot take is I think
Yeah.
the theaters should buy back the studios and reduce the
I'll say this too.
the cost.
Studios should buy back theaters.
yes.
It should be
that's
in-house.
crazy.
It just
Yeah.
makes it a holistic experience.
That's
at that
fucking
point.
crazy of you. No, I'm gonna challenge that. I'm gonna
Okay.
challenge that
Yeah.
1,000,000% because that contributes to the anti-democratization of exhibition, right? Because,
Yeah.
for example, I'm not saying Sony will do this,
Yeah.
but it's, each theater is real estate, right? Each
Yeah.
showtime is real estate. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
Sony owns Alamo Drafthouse, that means in theory, they could decide, we know that Memorial Day weekend is the biggest whatever weekend of the year. We will only show Sony movies.
Yeah.
Right? They could decide. And that's just them being transparent about it. But
Yeah.
like they can even do it in slightly less transparent ways of we'll just give the most popular Showtime days, right?
Yeah.
And that's even in a way that like you as the viewer don't even know. But it's
Yeah.
like we'll make it so that the most convenient times of the day to watch movies, only Sony movies are playing. But
Yeah.
like, if you want to watch that Universal movie, it's playing at 8:10 a.m. on
Right.
Sunday. And you know what I'm saying? So
No, 100%.
I'm so anti
It's like
that.
the airport. It's like Delta got all the good spots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm so anti that in every single way.
honestly, like I 100% agree with you on all those things. My one counter is, to me, that is the gaming industry. That the publishers own the consoles, which is the distribution of the games.
Well, do you
right?
think the gaming industry is in a very healthy place right now?
In some ways, I think the indie gaming industry is like showing that you can create stuff that's almost at AAA level without like the billions of capital to create something that people don't play. But there's obviously somehow in the industries of the gaming system, they're still incentivized to release third-party games on their systems, right? So I think in a way, hopefully there is a way so that there's still the same incentives, hopefully in the movie industry, where you still release third-party games, you still get, or not games, third-party movies, you're still getting benefit from them. Maybe there's first-party studios for Sony that are releasing games that have low discounted prices for certain things, but like, adopting the gaming system for movies.
It's really, it's interesting you say that because the gaming example would be around the time that Microsoft acquired Activision. Yeah, it was a complete Call of Duty takeover on everything Xbox, from your mobile phone to the website to your home screen, and that was again kind of like promoting the fact, but it's still actually when I get home I'm gonna look at this to see like when I go in my Xbox store, are Xbox titles first, or is it other
because there's so many subtle,
I've never really paid attention,
and that's what I'm saying. There's so many subtle ways that can
be manipulated.
Because
honestly,
yes, there is the very, because we always assume that when they do it we'll know, right? Because it's like Sony movie weekend, Sony movie Saturdays.
Investigated from
but it's
media.
like it's gonna be in just little ways. Like maybe Xbox titles are first. Maybe Xbox titles are even like maybe Xbox titles like all have a 10% discount.
Yeah, 15%
like
off.
whatever that is.
Right.
But also I am just a general. And I'm sure, what's that thing of like, the more money I make, the more I'm starting to understand corruption. Yeah. I'm sure that the day I become a media mogul, I will be pro monopoly.
Hey, monopolize everything, acquire that. Shut it.
But I'm so fundamentally antitrust. And like anti-consolidation.
We need a competent DOJ before this ever gets implemented. That's a disclaimer right now. Like we don't have that. We need that.
But talking about value at the movie theaters, I actually just saw a few days ago the CEO of Regal. They're considering doing like some theaters you can smoke like weed in, for an example.
Oh shit!
So like just fine, because I'm like automatically.
That news probably came from CinemaCon.
It's so crazy because you said CinemaCon was last week, and so like just even I literally
just
saw
read a bunch of news from theaters
like within the last few days. I was like, I was putting 2 and 2.
CinemaCon,
but I was like, those are like incremental things that could bring people back to the movie theaters. Because like, what couldn't you do in the theaters? Like, okay, well, you used to not be able to drink. They got bars, right? And added kind of then this new luxury movie theater came about, like the Alamo and the Cineplexes of the world. But
I know one of the things that they even mentioned is texting aloud screenings. I don't know how much, this was just in a panel, so I don't know how much they're like actually trying to do this, but they're like, I think there was some survey that like 40 to 60% of teenagers use their phones in movies anyway. So it's like, at that point, just like have certain screenings where you're allowed to have your phone, certain when you're not. That being said, I will probably not go to any of the phone allowed screenings. Yeah. But, once upon a time, I remember saying selfies are lame. I would never take a selfie. Now,
true.
I'll be taking selfies.
Yeah.
So,
smooth, man. So now tell us what's upcoming, what's next?
What's upcoming, what's next? What's upcoming? What's next? I'm going to be putting out music over the next few months. I'll be going back to, shoot our 4th and final season of Bel-Air.
Exciting.
I'm really, really excited for that. That should be coming out soon. And, right now I'm kind of in this really exciting stage where since, my Peacock Universal contract is done, I'm reading mad scripts. I'm reading just hella scripts, hella books. I'm trying to find books I want to adopt into IP, whether it's television shows, whether it's movies. I'm sort of just in sort of a soaking in everything stage.
Yeah.
First, it's a blessing at 27 to even be like in that position, right?
It's a little crazy. No, I'm like, this is wild, bro.
And you're not even thinking like the way you said that right now. It wasn't like, I'm reading this thing to see if I want to be in it. You're thinking more about Like, can I like from top to bottom?
Yeah, like, I
produce,
wanna-
bring this to life.
Yeah.
Be a part of it, or maybe not.
Yeah,
right?
but like that's always been, my goal. I think at my core, I'm just a creative. I love to make things, whether I'm in it, whether I'm not in it. I mean, I think at this stage in my career, it only makes sense to invest in things that I would be in.
Right.
Just because, there's a direct feedback loop of like, I'm in it, box office record,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think at my core, I've always wanted to make things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is such a gift at 27 to be able to say like, all right, now I'm reading things to see what IP I want to go to town with. Like, that's kind of crazy. But
actually, one thing I just remember I was supposed to say before, video games are like Minecraft movie that I thought people were...
Bro,
like critics didn't like it, and all of a sudden it's gonna hit a
That-
billion.
They're throwing popcorn in the movie theaters. They're going crazy.
nigga, you sounded like such an old head. These kids are throwing popcorn
I'm like,
in music theaters
Yeah,
and
like,
movie
what's wrong with
theaters.
you? I'm the old man screaming at the cloud right now.
You know what's funny about the Minecraft movie? That actually so surprised the entire film and television industry because everyone was like, "This movie's gonna be terrible." Like, what was the last video game movie that did well and was good and what? Like, I can't really think of one.
The last one probably Super Mario.
Okay, Super Mario.
That was like 2 summers
And
ago.
this this blew the water on Super Mario.
And you gotta think the biggest game, and it's the kids, bro. Kids bringing parents, and also the people that started playing Minecraft are probably now in their late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
So like,
or
it's,
even older than that.
Yeah,
Like,
I played Minecraft as a kid.
you know, we were like, but like that. It's like your movie. It was like it was their moment.
yeah.
Right.
And I feel like it would be the same thing when Call of Duty drops a movie. Despite where I'm at emotionally with the video game,
you're gonna
you know
go-
what movie?
I'm going to see
the Grand Theft Auto movie is going
oh
to
my
make $1 trillion.
God, it would make $1 trillion.
It's going to make $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Yo, give that
But,
to Ryan Coogler.
it's hard
while
because-
we talking about it.
Yeah.
Man, what's hard though is my hot take. If we still have time, my hot take is I think that the Minecraft movie was a fluke, and let me explain why. Because part of what has exploded the Minecraft movie is that parts of the movie like leaked online. And so you have a lot of kids like going to watch it, and like right before they're about to say a line, they say the line, and then like ooh, and then they throw the popcorn and blah 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 blah. That it's sort of like Barbenheimer, where that just like it happened. It was this moment. Oh my God! Everyone do a double feature. Go watch this cutesy Barbie movie, and then the movie about the worst moment in human history. Blah 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 blah. And then after Barbie, because one thing about studios is they love to learn the wrong lesson. I say this all the time. Like I say this all the time. Euphoria came out. It was such an incredibly successful show. And then for the next like year, you saw all these really shitty one-off like teen dramas where everyone's naked and doing drugs. And it wasn't, and they weren't always good. Because all these studios were like, we need our naked teen shows where everyone's doing drugs. And it's like, that's not why Euphoria was good. Euphoria was good because it told a beautiful story. And it happened to have those things, right? Barbenheimer happened, woohoo, it exploded. And then for the next, like, I don't know if y'all noticed, there was like a 6-month period where these where these studios tried to like double feature day and they tried to like recreate it, but it didn't catch on. Y'all probably don't know that because it never caught on. So I think that Minecraft is another one of those like lightning in a bottle things that it worked. But what every studio is going to learn from this is like, I think we should go make 1 million video game movies.
It's going to be like, I don't know, that Raving Rabbids game is going to get a movie.
You know what I'm
like,
saying? And then they're going to make, and then they either bomb, or maybe they'll do well. Maybe I'm wrong. Look, maybe I'll star in one. You know, say, here I am talking shit, but like maybe, but I don't know. I mean,
Borderlands was bad. I actually haven't seen it, but in terms of like,
I just know it didn't do well, but I never saw it, which is crazy because I loved it. Bro, I'm gonna go home and play some Borderlands. I haven't played Borderlands
since
in
the
a
first one.
long time. Oh, Borderlands 2
series.
is like went triple platinum in my household as a kid. Loved Borderlands 2.
No man, this is dope, man.
One other question.
Go ahead.
What were you in Indio, Palm Springs this past weekend, or you?
I was not. I've done Coachella before. I did 2 years ago. So much fun. I don't necessarily think I need to do it again unless I'm performing.
He doesn't
Yep.
have time, people.
No, it's not even that.
Craig said, I don't have time
it's not
to go to
that.
your
It
festival.
just, it is such an event and it's such a push
Yeah.
that it's like, for it to be fun for me, and maybe
Yeah.
I just don't have the constitution that everyone else does. For it to be fun for me, I need to go. And then when I come back, have like a few days off, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I can't do other things
Right.
the weekend that I'm at Coachella. But I think if I'm performing, like that is the thing that I'm doing.
Right.
But if I'm just like going for fun to experience it, I went. It was what were you in the desert?
No, I was not. But
Okay.
you know, I figured like
Did you hear
I
what
know the
happened?
brands trying to get you out there or
Well, and so that's the thing. I'm super like I love going, and that's kind of what I mean. I love going with brands. I love it when there is a job to do there.
right.
That's kind of my thing. Like because I love the spirit of the festival. I love
Yeah.
live music. You know, the idea of everyone coming together to experience live music, it's 10 out of 10. So I love going, you know, when a brand is taking me there, that feels like I have a purpose there.
Yeah.
But to just go, it is such a push to just
Yeah.
like go on my own volition that I'm like,
Right.
the camping.
It came
Yeah.
out either yesterday or the day before. So this year at Coachella, it was a record high. 60% of the attendees are financing their tickets.
Like that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Paying for so it's
As
just
low as
interesting.
$50.
So, yeah, as low as $50.
read.
It's really interesting, like just model. Like and
Yeah.
when I think about Coachella and like I agree. I think it's Rolling Loud was a lot for me. Bro, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna hold you. Coachella just seems like it's gonna be
No,
Yeah.
too much. No.
Rolling Loud was a lot. Coachella's more. 'Cause
Yeah,
this thing was
exactly.
Rolling Loud. You could drive into Rolling Loud and then drive
Get
back
out.
home and
Yeah,
sleep.
you can't do that.
You
Right.
cannot.
You're literally in the
because,
desert,
Have,
right?
you
Yeah.
ever, have
Yeah.
you ever been?
No.
Bro, I would say do it once, but it's like Indio is not, because you know how, well, part of what works with Rolling Loud in LA, it's like there is an urban development to get you there.
Right.
Yeah.
Indio has one road. There is
Wow.
one road.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
It's like it's literally
There.
one way in, one way out.
So it's like it's 1, 2, maybe
Yeah.
3, 4 lane road.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not.
Yeah.
It's not what it is.
Bro,
Yeah.
like,
But that's a lot of people, man. Like, and I'm not. It's not shaming.
120,000.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, and that's what, to the people who love camping, to the people who love that, I get it. Maybe I'm too much of a princess. I don't know, man.
No, I'm with it. Like I hate camping in general.
Hilarious.
So I'm not gonna go camping in
Okay,
the
here's
desert.
the thing. There are 3 black men in this room.
Yeah.
I don't think that I thought at any point that
Okay.
one of us would
Camping
be
was
like,
like in-
man, I
That's
really
true.
love me some camping.
Yeah.
Let me go pitch
No,
my
I'm-
tent.
I'm just
Cabin-
saying,
weekend.
those days are over. Our people
Yeah.
don't have to be outside
Yeah,
anymore.
true,
You know what I mean?
true.
Like,
I enjoy Coachella from the crib.
Yeah.
Revolve Fest, all
Yeah.
of it. I've seen it all.
but again, super fun. Like,
Yeah.
if you ever get the chance to go. For me, it was just a thing that's like, I went, I did it one time. I was like, great, I've gotten what I needed. From
Yeah.
it.
Right. And to what you're saying is there's a lot of people they're concerned about cash flow for their bank accounts. That's why they're financing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
No,
you
they can't afford it.
Yeah, it's true.
Is what it
well,
is.
I mean,
Like-
what if they're like cash flow? They're like, going through their
Like, to be fair, like
You
it
know,
could be a
P&L
number of
sheet.
reasons.
Okay,
but
well, here's my hot take.
most
Sorry.
takes on it is probably
My hot take
Okay.
is if you are worried about cash flow, you cannot afford Coachella. And
Okay.
maybe that's
because your
All right.
cash flow would include the full
Yeah,
ticket,
like-
like purchase.
Because
Like,
also, mind
that's
you,
the cash
and
flow.
I'm
mind
trying
you,
to give them a little bit of grace here.
Mind you, like Nigerian father, come from an African
Yeah.
household, very, very like fiscally responsible.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that if you cannot afford just the full thing,
Yeah.
and not sweat, you cannot afford it.
Just chill, bro.
According
Yeah,
to
it's
CJ,
okay.
pay cash, don't make payments. Juicy J.
There you go.
Okay, that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, sure, even if it's like, no, but like I could, but I don't want to because it means that my next few weeks will be tight, then you
Yeah, just chill, bro.
Yeah.
What's
But
going
again,
on?
the culture
Yeah.
we created, you can't chill, bro. You got to be
Yeah.
there in the moment. And
Yeah,
it's-
true. You cannot miss it.
You can't.
But here's what
you
I will.
can.
You
Yeah.
can.
But you actually can't.
But here's what I will say, right? I think that Coachella has done something incredible. And this is just from a sort of business perspective. Coachella has done something incredible that we're about to enter a recession in
Yep.
an economy and in a culture that we are just more fiscally sort of with it. The reason why Temu is exploding in popularity, the reason why Fashion Nova, everyone's trying to save money.
Yeah.
They created this thing that even though starting off tickets are $600,
Yeah.
people will finance. It's good because like from a marketing perspective, from a branding perspective, they have turned what is essentially go to a field and listen to music into a lifestyle thing, which like hats off to, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it Doolab? Is it Doolab that puts it up?
Coachella. I don't know the parent company.
Okay, but whoever
Yeah.
it is, just like
don't know the parent.
go them because I think that is
Golden Voice, I think.
Golden Voice. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yep.
It is a stroke of just genius and brilliance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because to get 60% of people who can't afford a ticket to find it, like
It's a lot. It's a lot.
you know what? That's actually, you know what? I've changed my opinion. That's my hot take. I think I went from like, oh my God, how could those people, you know, not really be financially responsible? My new opinion is Golden Voice is everyone needs to take a masterclass
Yeah.
in marketing from them.
Consumer marketing and festival.
Yeah,
business.
they have more money to spend at the festival now because they
Yo, you
didn't
saw
spend
the
it all
food. It's just
ahead
a
of
lot,
time.
bro.
Yeah,
It's
but it's not. I just think that they, you know, like, how do you convince people who don't have the money to spend it? That's crazy.
$50. It's only $50.
That's
It's only
no,
$50.
dude.
That's
Man.
the thing that'll
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah,
It
it's
will
only
cost
$50 and another $50. Like, fun fact about me, my side hustle is getting my friends' cars. It's not really a side hustle because I
Okay.
do it for free.
Yeah.
But when I say side hustle, it's just like I love the art of negotiating. Anytime a friend of mine's like, bro, I want a new car, I'm like, bet,
Yeah.
I'll come with you. And especially like my homegirls, it's like, oh, I want a new car, bet. I'm there. I'm your
Yeah.
boyfriend for the day. Like, you know, we're haggling, we're going back and forth. And the thing that car dealerships will always get you with is they will bring that monthly price down. Right?
Yeah.
They'll be like, no, you don't get it. Like, you know, I want this car, but you know, what's nice about this car is like the monthly payment is only $200 a month. I'm like,
Yeah.
how much money are you putting down?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you know, the down payment, you know, it's just like $9,099. I'm like, wait. So
Yeah.
it's not equivalent, right?
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah, this car is $200 a month and that one is $400 a month, but the down payment on this one is $6,000 and the down payment on this one is $2,000.
Yeah.
What are you? You know, so
Right.
like out of your pocket month one, how much is going out of your pocket throughout
Right.
the entire lease payment, whatever, how much is going? Now we're on
Yeah.
a completely different topic.
Yeah.
But when I tell you that
Yeah.
this is the
Nigerian father.
Nigerian father,
Yeah.
fiscally
I
responsible, can't
had
help
a
it.
Bayesian father. Same
Wow.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're here.
So, yeah.
We get each other.
Yeah. We gotta get a car. Like we'll like compare like what we can
Yeah. Oh,
get
no.
the car dealer to come down to. in
Man,
terms
let me
of-
tell you, my first car that I leased, it was a Kia Forte, no money down, $299 a month.
Wow.
Just like I drove that car off the lot, $299 came out of
Yeah.
my pocket, and I went home with it.
Yeah. So you
Like, that's
it was
ridiculous.
like a masterclass negotiation.
Yeah,
That's
like-
like I got my second car. I had a 07 Mazda 3. Then I traded that car in was the down payment.
Man.
And then my monthly payments were like $270-ish or something like
Love
that.
that. Mind
was
you,
like-
this
but it was-
was in 2019, 2020. So
it
I
was
don't
like
think you could get a
2016.
car
Yeah,
like
it was
that
like
now
2016.
anymore. But,
Yeah. Not after this year. It's gonna be
Oh, bro.
Oh man.
We all get
Yeah.
in General
Get your
Motor,
cars
my
and
boy.
phones now.
Man,
Getting all your
a
General
Ford,
Motors.
for
Yeah.
real.
Yep.
Yeah,
Buy
get you a
American.
little a little Mustang. Be good
Dang,
with
does
it.
that mean it's working? Did we just prove
No,
that?
what I'm saying is,
did we
I
just
have a
prove
really
that
hot take,
orange
but
nigga actually?
I'm not going into that right now because, hey, bro, you have a whole thing coming up. Don't get
This
canceled.
is
yes,
tagline
sir.
for the show.
Yeah.
Buy American.
Yeah, no, I was gonna be like fiscally responsible. That's the,
no, fiscally responsible.
But no, y'all, look, we really appreciate you, Olly, for
course,
show.
man.
So first and foremost, we get out of here. Tell people where to find you.
You can find me kind of everywhere. I'm on Instagram at Olly Show, on TikTok at Olly Show. My music, you can stream it on every platform you listen to music. Olly Sholotan. Would love for you to hear it. Let me know what you think. It's kind of, it's a pop, R&B, Afrobeats mix of everything. I grew up listening to Afrobeats, grew up listening to hip hop, grew up listening to pop. So it's all of that. Let me know what you think.
Dope. Well,
Yeah.
look, we about
Body
to,
is fire.
Thank you,
one.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know that music video was shot in one actual take?
I was reading some of the interviews
Yeah,
and
one
I
take.
saw that. I was like, all right, let me go check this
Yeah.
out. And then like I see her coming out, and then like you pop out and like doing like
Because everyone's always like, where's the hidden cut? I'm like, there's no hidden cut. We really, because I don't know, I grew up dancing, I've done theater. So I'm like, there's no cuts in theater. If I can do a whole show,
yeah.
choreography, no cuts, I'm sure I could do 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Never doing that again. It was very difficult.
But still fire.
Thank you,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
yeah, and if you have shows coming up, we'd love to come check it out.
I'll
all
let
that
y'all
good
know.
stuff.
Yeah.
My team and I are planning that right now. But once I have that locked in, I'll invite y'all.
Show. Well, we about to get out of here, y'all. We appreciate you. Catch you next week.
Peace.
We out. Watch the street.